Coming up today, the hottest hatch in SA, the Seat Leon Cupra. The Morris Minor celebrates its 60th birthday. And Hendrik looks at two dressed-up Hyundais.
If money was no object, what car would you buy? I often get that question, probably because people assume that I've driven every single car on the planet, which incidentally I haven't, or that they quite rightly assume that I'm not quite in the billionaires league yet. The answer to the question would be, well, what about, say, the Pagani Zonda or the latest Koenigsegg? Because if money is no object, then practicality doesn't come into it. In the real world, however, my ideal car would be one of the hot hatches currently on the market.
In recent years, the hot hatch market has got hotter, and a month ago, a new contender has made life in the engine room reach boiling point for some.
Back in the late 1990s, a designer called Walter de Silva revamped Alfa Romeo's entire model range and then moved over to Seat and did exactly the same for the Spanish manufacturer. You can still see echoes of the Alfa Romeo in this Seat, although it has a look all of its own. To me, this car is quite beautiful.
The genius of Walter de Silva's design direction is that, unlike certain other high-profile design gurus, he has the ability to draw out a car's heritage into the final rendering, rather than impose his own ego on the shape. Thus, although the Seat Leon has echoes of the Alfa 147, it has its own distinct Mediterranean character, befitting the Seat's Spanish roots. Here's a car that's serious, but doesn't take itself too seriously.
Ever since Seat began cleaning up in both the World and the British Touring Car Championships a couple of years ago, I began to take notice of the Leon Cupra. Cupra, as I understand it, is short for Cup Racing, so this road-going version comes with high expectations. It's no secret that Seats are built on Volkswagen Golf platforms, but styling-wise and dynamically, Seat has gone to some lengths to ensure that their cars have distinct characters. The same also applies to the special direct injection turbo engine beneath this very distinctive bonnet.
The Leon Cupra is fitted with the most powerful engine yet seen in a Seat. A 177 kilowatt power plant that has some tasty details for motorheads to salivate over. A bigger turbo and heavy-duty pistons that ensure that the VW Audi Group FSI mill, as massaged by Seat, is going to be something special.
The moment you get behind the wheel of a Cupra, you know that this car means business. Real sporty seats with plenty of lateral support, a thick leather-clad steering wheel with pronounced thumb guards that place your hands absolutely accurately.
And a general feeling of cheerfulness that's lacking in the rather sober, if not somber, cabins of its Golf and Audi cousins. This does have a downside in places, as the finish on the console housing, aircon, audio and the like looks a little weak, as do the plastic moldings. But they're brightened by sporty gauges, gear knobs and the like. The cabin is big enough to do full 4- and even 5-seater duty, and there's a great feeling of solidity. The Cupra also has a lightness of touch about its whole persona.
And then the acceleration. Just look at that. Breathtaking stuff.
The ramp-up onto the turbo has been carefully mapped too by Seat's electronic division, so there's no unseemly power transfer across the front wheels. This is notable when looking at the torque peak, which occurs at 2,200 RPM and the peak power at 5,700 RPM. And yet the Seat has no lack of ultra-low down urge, nor does it become breathless before its 7,000 RPM red line. Nothing shabby about a 6.4 second dash to 100 either. And it has the ability to dodder around in traffic too.
The great thing about this 2-litre turbocharged engine, which has been especially developed for the Cupra, is that there's no hint of turbo lag. It starts kicking in already just after 2,000 RPM. handling is absolutely superb. The steering is pin sharp, absolutely on the button. The feedback from the steering wheel, you know exactly what the front wheels are doing. You feel part of the road. This car is planted and you feel that you're part of the whole scene.
And yet, despite 177 kilowatts that seem like bigger watts than those claimed by some of its rivals, there's no torque steer.
The gear shift is as good as all the other great assets of this car. It's positive. There's no searching around for gears.